One was in 17th century Holland. This doesn't seem a revolutionary picture. A dairymaid pours milk. The artist, Jan Vermeer, was little known out here. Now he is thought among the very greatest. He painted this earthy pickup when there's not going on. The soldier pours the girl. Her hand. He's about to flip a coin in it. Her madam looks on greedily. Who's toasting us with an enigmatic grin? That must be Vermeer. His ghost might haunt Delft, the small Dutch town where he spent most of his life. He left no letters, filed in a house which stood on the central square of church, but not a lot else. His pictures survive, and over the years his reputation has grown.
We all feel it. And we could almost envision them as close. We can see him reading a letter, see a little street, and yet it's surprising how little we actually do know of him. He didn't explain what he meant in paintings, what his themes were, what his ideas were, what his underlying philosophical concepts were. How did he come upon this ability to create the sense of light and space in his works? How did he discover the secrets of perspective? He leaves so much to the imagination that he is an artist who will always speak to us, who will always allow new insights and new visions.
In America, his pictures have been re-examined, probed and cleaned in preparation for their first joint exhibition for 300 years. Perhaps for the first time ever, a majority of his paintings can be seen together. When so little is known about the artist, his pictures, even the X-ray of them, remain the principal source of our knowledge. The loss of paint and cracks have to be repaired, dirt removed and lost areas restored, confirming Vermeer as one of the most gifted of that golden age of Dutch art.
Vermeer may not have been well known to a wide public before the 20th century, but among those connoisseurs and collectors in the Netherlands, particularly Amsterdam, he was greatly valued. This incredible painting of the Milkmaid actually appeared in a sale in 1719, where it was described as the famous Milkmaid by Vermeer of Delft, artful, which is a wonderful term. You don't see that very much in descriptions of paintings. And it gives you a sense of the sort of forcefulness and power of this painting, which is always amazing. You look at reproductions of the Milkmaid and you think, my gosh, this must be a huge painting. When you come up to it, it's really very small. And how is it that Vermeer created this sense of monumentality in this woman who seems to embody all of the strength and goodness and vigor of the Dutch people? This very free and expressive technique you see particularly on the bread. It gives a sparkling and animated character to the bread that makes it feel very alive. And it's this quality, which is not something that one normally sees in nature, that makes people think that perhaps he used an optical device called a camera obscura to actually conceive the painting. Not that he actually painted through a camera obscura, but that the diffused highlights, the different points of focus, are optical effects that he would only have found in such an optical device.
The camera obscura was a method of projecting an image, this image here for instance, through a lens, onto a mirror, and then across onto the canvas. The image will be upside down, but later development corrected this drawback. This was only one step from photography and must have seemed magical to those who viewed it.
As the Dutch poet Gergens said,
"It is not possible to describe for you the beauty of it. All painting is dead in comparison, for here is life itself."
A portable version was created. This was only one of many new optical devices developed in the Netherlands in the 17th century.
It is true that Vermeer knew Leeuwenhoek, the person who introduced the microscope, and that it was the era of Galileo's telescope. It was the era of Newton and of the new objective science as expressed by and described and generalized by Francis Bacon.
Just as this century has seen immense technological change, the whole story of flight from the Wright brothers to walking in space, so the 17th century drew together the picture of the universe that has dominated until our own day. For the first time, our solar system was accurately plotted, as in this splendid mechanical model which Vermeer might have seen working in the neighbouring Dutch town of Leiden. Born into this time, Vermeer was one of the few very great painters with strong scientific interests. This is his portrait of an astronomer. His globe shows accurately the constellation of stars. He's surrounded by the implements of his trade. Vermeer's only other surviving painting of a single man, that is, a man not accompanied by women, is a geographer. He measures the Earth, just as the astronomer reaches out to comprehend the universe. In fact, in Vermeer's paintings, they may be the same man. Vermeer's model may be one of the leading scientists of the day, Antony von Leeuwenhoek. He also lived in Delft and was Vermeer's exact contemporary. Later in life, he was to administer Vermeer's will. It would have been surprising if they'd not known each other.
Leeuwenhoek studied virtually everything through his microscope. He took maggots. He took human feces. He pulled out some of the tartar of his own teeth. And this, in fact, is one of those extraordinary microscopes of the sort that Leeuwenhoek made himself and used for his researches for a long time in Delft. The real vital bit is the lens, so tiny that you might not even see it. It is a spherical lens of about 1 millimeter in diameter. And one beautiful example of what he saw and how this was shown is in this copy of his book. And this is a louse. The plate shows it in the original size, very tiny, and then, this is a striking picture, it shows the louse stuck on that very same piece of metal here of the microscope with its back. And it shows all the details of its 6 legs and its feelers and its mouth. One of the most stunning observations that he made was his discovery of the spermatozoa in the human sperm. And I have here in front of me a wonderful picture of what he saw and how he saw them teeming through the little microscope.
We are truly as gods if we can see everything from this highest point of the heavens to the tiniest creatures on earth.
Artists also sought to be accurate and true to nature in their pictures. A century before Vermeer, the German artist Dürer had invented this device to aid in the portrayal of perspective.
Any movement on this huge on the grid, it's a very awkward way of drawing. You really ought to be using a dead body. You can see why this never caught on with artists. You have to make remarkably still and close one eye.